going. Welcome to episode
We're
numero 7.
live
This episode of
from
Somewhere on the
living rooms
Spectrum
and bedrooms.
and kitchens and living rooms around the planet. So this
Good old
episode, young
places.
Ashley James, we're going to be doing something a little different. We
Yes,
are going to be answering questions from our lovely listeners and viewers around
Which
this
way is a 7?
globe.
What
Other
of
way.
these is a 7?
That's a 7.
This way?
Nope, that
Yeah,
isn't.
this way.
That is a 7. That is a
Nailed it.
thing.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that's it. Boom.
See, to me, that's a backwards 7 on my screen.
Yeah, that's why I get confused.
Whatever.
There we
Anyways, so we've got that sorted. Once again, raising the bar on the introductions to our beautiful podcast. And we wonder why no one's sponsored us yet. Hey, my big baby bottle.
The
My
big
baby
bottle.
Big baby bottle.
That song is for sale if anyone wants to sing it.
It's out for licensing. My big baby bottle. My big banana bottle. So yeah, we have
what we're doing, sir.
We have some questions that some people shot into us with needs to know bases, and we are the know and they are the needs.
Exactly. And yeah, they have cannonballs and we have faces.
And swimming pools ready for a delicious jackknife in to splash the people sunbathing on the side.
This is a log flume.
Also, if you do find yourself in need of splashing people sunbathing on the side of a pool, pro tip here, do not opt for the cannonball. Opt for the jackknife. Hold one knee, arch yourself slightly back, and aim the back at the place that you most want to splash. That will create a tidal wave effect that will much more successfully soak the people than just a cannonball that's a ball that drops in the middle and then splashes out in a corona pattern.
This is
the jackknife.
This is the question nobody asked.
But everybody needed.
So look, as you can tell, you can ask us some silly questions along the way, and
you can
squeeze them in. And we're a mixture of fun and silly, and it's serious. And
I was gonna say fun and silly are kind of on the same thing. So
I meant to say serious. So like I said,
we're
silly,
a mixture of fun, silly, and a tiny bit serious. All right, let's kick this off, man. We're not gonna say any names. Everyone's gonna maintain their anonymity. So, first question, and we can both answer this briefly, but we have to be cognizant of the time, as a fella does. Ready?
Let's just name everybody after Scooby-Doo.
What are some good exercises to help calm anxiety?
Oh, that's a good one straight off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
I think meditation, I have heard, is great.
I do meditate, and I can vouch.
Yeah, I am yet to try it, but it's on my list.
Okay.
But I think that's one that a lot of people would run to. Like,
true.
Every time I look up anxiety, I'm going to find something on meditation. For me personally, it's literally probably putting on some headphones, listening to some music, just laying back, and, just closing my eyes.
Just like taking the proverbial
that to me is that to me is my meditation, I guess.
I like it. Well, that counts,
man. I guess it's not far off it.
No, in fact, there is a kind of meditation called Zazen meditation, in which it is actually the meditation where, it's one of the ways you can do it. It's using sound, and you imagine sound as circles around you, and you start with the sounds closest, and you think on those, and then you expand that sound and you find sounds that are the next level further and then further and further and further.
I've heard of this.
Yeah, it's actually really, and then you work your way backwards to the sounds that are closest. I was going to say, for me, breath. And there's a simple breathing technique that you can do. And it's breathe in through start with 4 seconds, but breathe in through your nose for 4 seconds and then out through your mouth for 8. And that whole process will take 12 seconds. If you do 5 of those, you are at a minute. So if you just give yourself 1 minute of breathing like that, in 8, out 12. Or no, I'm sorry, not a minute. That's 100 seconds. If you do that, though, you will it totally resets your entire nervous system. And if sometimes just one cycle of 5 of those is all you need. And if not, no, did I say 10? It is 60 seconds, isn't it?
Like
How many
I
seconds
am
is that?
so you're all over the place.
So you just
Said
go
5,
in through your
which
nose
is
for
a minute.
4. Yeah, right. I was right on the math.
You were right in the first time, and now I'm like, what?
Yeah, in through your
Okay.
nose for 4, out for 8.
Wait there. Yeah. Okay.
Try it.
Stop again.
I want you to
So,
try one cycle. In through your nose for 4.
okay. Okay, you're gonna count me. Ready? 3, 2,
Ready, go.
1.
1, 2, 3, 4. Out 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 1. If you do that 5 times, it totally resets you. And it honestly, it's one of the fastest ways to get rid of an anxiety attack.
Okay.
So try it. And then,
They also say nothingness helps because in such a busy world, we don't really have any time when we're doing nothing.
we do not.
And it's probably the hardest thing to do ever. But I used to do
agree.
it a lot where you just sort of have to shut your. I guess it falls again into the meditation sort of side of things, but it's more of just having a few minutes of nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're not just scrolling on something, you're not reading anything, you just
don't fill it with meaningless stuff.
Yeah.
That's
it's easy
good.
to get overwhelmed in this world.
It is. Especially if you're somewhere on the spectrum.
This plug.
Okay. Ooh, this is a good one, man. This is a really good one. It goes along with the one we just read, but I struggle with anxiety. I cannot afford a therapist. What is the best thing that I can do? So, first thing I would say about that is do the things we just said, but also you need to look up and do some research, because I'm not sure where this person is from, that I will not say their name, but in many, many places, there are ways to receive therapy for free. There are a lot of different places you can go where you can meet with either one-on-one or with a group of like-minded people that are very, very, very helpful, and they are available at no cost. So even if you don't have enough money or whatever, there are pro bono
There
ways
is
to get help.
also, I don't know if this is still a thing, but there used to be this thing called 7 Cups. You ever heard of this?
I've not heard of 7 Cups.
So it's just basically like where the public become listeners. And then like anyone who has a problem, they come in and they talk to them, but it's all anonymous.
Ooh.
But like the simple act of venting, even though they're not professionals.
Yeah, just
even though they're not
heard.
like because you're anonymous and because they're strangers, you know, you don't feel that judgment at all.
Sure.
You don't feel worried to open up. So I
like
don't know
this.
if that's still a thing that's going, but I've used it before a couple years ago.
Okay. Is it online?
And yeah, and there was an app at one point.
Okay.
But but I'm sure if it's not around, there is something. We'll look into that.
Okay.
But that's another
I think bottom
option
line
too.
is do some research, because there are many options that do not require a great deal or any money. There are free options. There's even suicide helplines for people that are going through really hard things, that those are available at no cost. And if you need help, there's a million places you can reach out, and do not ever let money be a reason that you're not reaching out for help. Do not ever.
Exactly.
Because there are places. And if worse comes to worse, that guy right there, or I guess you're going to be over here, that guy over here, this guy over here,
on that guy over
we're
there,
also
one of
available.
the sides.
One of us is available. So reach out, man, or lady, or whoever you are. We are here, and we are more than willing to help.
Do not suffer alone.
No.
That is the main thing.
Oh, weird. That transitions nicely into the next question.
Okay.
How do we overcome the feeling of loneliness, even if we are surrounded by people? I have something to say about that one.
Okay, then. You hit first.
I am at my loneliest when I am surrounded by people. I feel the most lonely when I'm the most overwhelmed, because I feel like when I'm surrounded by people, there's so much noise that the little me that is driving this ship goes further and further and further and further and further back inside. And there are layers of like darkness and emptiness and noise separating me from the rest of the world. So the noisier it gets for me in a very real tangible sense and in a metaphorical sense, the louder it gets, the more lonely I get. And so when I'm at a party full of people, I literally never feel lonelier.
I agree
So that's the
with
first
that.
thing I wanted to say. You do agree? You find the same?
Sam has like the most amount of friends I've ever seen a human being have. Right? That
So
is
does
just
Sarah.
it wasn't so like when we went to New Zealand and saw all her friends, like she's in this room and like there's literally like 15 people on a table. And to me, that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like that is like a lot. Like maybe to her it's normal, but to me it was like holy, like all these are your friends. Like for one,
Like how
I just
close are
feel
you
lost
really?
in a place.
Me too.
You know what I mean? Like it sort of feels like when there's too many people, I feel like I'm here and then they're there. And like the more
Exactly.
people you add, the more we drift apart.
Yes, it just spreads you all the way out. And next thing you know,
Yeah.
you're like, I hear you over there. Who's yelling at you, Mom?
Yeah. No, I'm hearing it's the wind again.
Oh. So,
The
okay.
wind's
So I
awful.
would say to address that, how do you overcome that feeling of loneliness? First step I would say is be vocal about that with the people that you're surrounded by, and
Yeah.
then let them in on it and tell them that you're feeling that way, because if you don't, that can often be misconstrued as like you don't want them around or you don't need them around, and
Yeah.
that's not what this is. It's just you need to be honest with the way you're feeling and say that sometimes being surrounded by people makes you feel very lonely, and then maybe break that down and make personal connections with the one or two people that make you feel
Would
better.
be yeah, because obviously we don't have all the information. But if you don't feel that way with just one or two people,
Break it down.
maybe it's the same thing that we go through in a sense
Yeah,
of just too many people is too much.
I agree.
Like so I would just however you feel happy, stick with that number.
Exactly.
I like two people in a room.
And don't feel guilty about that. There's no wrong way to do it. Like you do not have to be a person who loves going to a party. You don't have to be that at all.
Nope.
Just be the way you want to
No,
be.
me and Tyler are not party people.
No.
I know we look like it, but we just
Well,
don't.
we're party people, but just different kinds of parties. We're like
Well,
that old rap band Tag Team.
yes.
Tag
Just-
Team
it's
back
just-
again. Check it to wreck it.
Our
Let's
party
begin.
is
Party on,
just-
party people. Simmons, here's the noise. DC's in the house. Jump, jump, rejoice. There's a party over here. There's a party over there. Throw your hands in the air. Shake your derriere. These three words mean you're getting busy. Whoop. There it is.
So here's a question for you based off that.
Yes.
How many people in a room is too many?
For me?
Yeah, on minimum. Like obviously there's a big number that is, but
I
what
think
would you
it
say,
also
like, the
depends on the people. But
Yeah, I'd say that.
even with people that I do love and care about, like if it gets over 5 or 6, I start being
Yeah.
like, Jesus.
I get very annoyed by by people who have gatherings in loud places
Oh my God. And you have
because
to yell to hear.
it's like techno music, right? This is literally an experience of like when I went to New Zealand again. But and then like you're trying to socialize, and then you're
Yep.
trying to like they're shouting, and then people are shouting, and there's
Totally.
music, and you're like, let's just go and have a cup of tea, and
And eat
just
some
talk
biscuits
about
and
it
call it a night.
inside,
Totally agree,
in the
dude.
quiet, in the warm.
Totally agree. Next
So
question.
as you can tell,
What to do when there seems to be no visible hope? Oof.
that's a deep one.
That is a deep one. I think this is what I'm going to say. The majority of our lives are going to be spent in situations with little to no visible hope. That's like that's a grim view of things, but as a Buddhist, it's also an honest one. Life is suffering. That's one of the first truths. It's the first truth. And that's not a negative thing, but I think that most of our lives are going to be with situations where it seems like hope is pretty hard to find. And we're going to be dealing with tragedy and sadness and sorrow and all of these different things. And I think the game of all of this is by finding that hope even when it seems impossible. And if we treat that as our mission is to like find these little miracles in the mundane and find these little hidden pockets of hope, it changes your whole life if you treat it that way. If you make your mission to find hope and find light, even when it seems like there isn't any, your whole life unlocks. And I think that's the key to all of this, is to go on the hunt for them, to go searching for it.
I think it's quite easy to dwell in the hopelessness of situations or life in general.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, because you handled the whole thing pretty much perfectly, like, if you just physically just need to get away from that feeling, find something that distracts you from it for a while. And then in that new positive outlook, you might just figure it out on your own.
You might.
Because I literally just go for a walk, do something that just takes you away from that feeling.
Yep.
Because, well,
that's good advice.
As you said, it is the sad truth that life is suffering.
It is. And I think like we call it over here, where's Waldo, but you call it Wally, don't you?
Yeah, as I did in my poem from the last episode.
Yeah. So if you treat life like a Where's Waldo or Wally book, and instead of looking for that little dude with spectacles on, you're looking for little pockets of hope.
Yeah.
It can transform you, man.
It's either a handsome dude or a really hot lady.
I think it's both.
That's all I can tell you.
He, like Hope, is a master hider. Okay, Ash, this is a good question here.
Okay.
Did you have OT as a child? And if so, was it helpful?
What is OT?
Occupational therapy. So like,
I don't even know what that is.
So basically, did you receive help from a trained mental health professional on ways to cope and deal with the things in your brain? My answer,
I think this was one of my gripe from the last episode.
It was
that I didn't.
And neither did I. A resounding no from the pair of us.
And how calm I was about it last episode. I deserve medals.
You do. I will send you a medal, handcrafted. I think neither of us received that. But I think in this answer lies hope. Just like we were just saying, there is hope.
Yeah.
Because neither you nor I received any occupational therapy. We received no help when it comes to our condition at all. And like, I would argue still to this day, neither of us are receiving professional help. I mean, my wife, Sarah, would be like, how dare you? She's helping all the time. But neither of us are seeing a therapist, which we probably should do.
No.
But we're not. And we're all right.
Well, there's a lot of... We triumphed.
Like, we're here. We're surviving.
We made it.
We're making podcasts. So, but wait. So then, to rewind, if there is occupational therapy, if there is OT available to you, I highly encourage that you or whoever you have that needs it, take it, because my goodness, it can do wonders. And I wonder how much smoother our road would have been had we have had that available to us at the start.
Like, it probably would help. If it's available, take it. Yep. I spend 90% of my life like rows on a piece of driftwood. Like, that is the best way I can describe it. And like, maybe some therapy would help me, but like at the same time, I'm good.
Yeah.
You know, I've learned to deal with all this stuff.
But perhaps the reason why we're good now is because we never had that. And so we had to learn to be good despite it all.
Yeah.
And I don't think you don't need to go through the struggles that we had. You don't need to, because there's ways now to deal with this.
There's much easier ways now.
Much easier. So take it. And I think OT can be massively helpful. So find a person that fits and absolutely take it. Okay. Oh, we already answered this one. How were you diagnosed and what was that process like? Please refer to the previous episode.
Please refer to last Wednesday.
Okay, dude, this one's a loaded question, but this is I just wiggled my biggle. Yeah. Any tips on raising a child on the spectrum? And here's the deal. I just actually had a conversation with a friend the other day who has suspicion that their child might be on the spectrum. And I have to say, it was an absolutely amazing conversation and an experience speaking with her. And I think when we came away from the conversation, I hope she felt much better about things, because there is
Yeah.
such terror associated with this diagnosis that if you think you have a child on the spectrum, I'm sure you're just terrified and you're like, oh God, now what? Are they going to live in my basement for the rest of my life? And like, what am I going to do? And it doesn't need to be that way. And so,
No, it doesn't.
first of all, my tip would be get the diagnosis, because once you have the diagnosis, you have a multitude of help at your disposal.
As we said last time on,
As we also said in
Spectrum last week.
episode 6.
Yes,
Secondly,
yes.
if there is OT available, absolutely get that. But then this is my advice, and then I'm going to let you talk. I want the parents, because often I feel like it's the parents, well, mostly parents more than the child, that need the training. And so, because it's more of, you need more training for the patients and the understanding and the coping as the person's not dealing with the disease or the disorder as than you do being the person with it. Because for the person with it, that's just your reality. That's the way that you are. But the people who aren't like that, who are maybe more neurotypical, they're the ones that need more help on how to process and how to cope. And so I would encourage you as the parent to seek out as much information as you can, and even your own therapy, to figure out coping mechanisms for you as the neurotypical and how to deal with the child that is on the spectrum.
Yeah. I think my big word would be patience. And to throw it back a few episodes, but Sarah, when Sarah was on here, was to have, she said that thing about you where if you just follow that magical road in your mind, where it's just like it leads to wonderful places. Like obviously with a child, it's slightly different because you can't just let them run into the road and whatever. But like just giving them patience and just giving them that freedom to just be themselves. And just to see what, like, to an extent, to a safe extent, it's just would be wonderful, because
it would be.
It's going to be a wonderful time.
They're going to be amazing kids. And also my shirt's on
backwards.
Well, I'm cold, but I didn't want to like do the whole thing of putting it on normal. So I just need to get a little warmer.
You know what? It's covering the exact same place that it would if you just put it on normal.
I know, but then I would have to like go behind my back and all of that stuff. And this way I could just like put it on like a frock. You want to just
next question. Move on.
Look, it looks like a scarf now. It's good. It's working. Okay. Here we go. Ash, do you have any tips on social anxiety? It's looking good, dude. This is going to be the new thing again. It's like crisscross. Look, it looks like I'm wearing like a custom made garment. I encourage you, while we're answering this question, to turn your shirt around, because I think
I'm gonna do it. I'm already on it, man. Okay, so read the question one more time.
Look at my neck. It looks unhinged.
Read the question.
I did. Any tips on dealing with social anxiety?
I mean, we pretty much answered this one earlier on.
We did.
Where it was like,
breathe, find your group.
You know, breathe. But at the same time, like, find your number.
Yep.
Like, find out.
And don't be afraid to be vocal about needing that number.
No, you gotta, like, whatever your needs are, you gotta make sure people know them.
Yep. And there's no shame in
having. No, there isn't. So if you're having these problems in social groups and it's a bit too much for you, and you need to walk outside for 5, and you need to just look at the sky and just be on your own, take that 5 minutes. There's nothing wrong with it.
To quote another poet, Theodore Geisel,
this is
Dr.
not
Seuss,
comfortable.
Those who matter don't mind, and those who mind don't matter.
Yep.
Okay. Next question. Dealing with new clothes issues as my son grows, are there tips on helping him acclimate? Okay, so wait. First of all, you and I are probably not the best people to answer this question, but we're gonna anyways, because I have things to say about this.
Well, there you go.
I hate tags on clothing. So like, I'm guessing this question is more about sensory issues having to do with the new clothes. And so again, I think this question is more about changing your expectations and preconceived notions about what's okay. If your kid only wants to wear sweatpants and like baggy t-shirts and sweatshirts because it's the most comfortable, Let them wear sweatpants and baggy t-shirts and sweatshirts.
Exactly.
If they
And
don't like
if he's
wearing things
got
with
like a
tags,
certain material, let him wear that material.
let him do it. He doesn't need to wear skinny jeans and like look like a 1960s beat farmer. He doesn't have to do those things. He can dress
Like for
however he
me,
needs, or
I
she.
wear skinny jeans because I like the constriction, because that's who I am a little bit.
And you have very nice legs.
But exactly, I have chicken legs for days.
They're delightful.
Exactly.
Capped off with
But,
a beautiful apple bum.
I would advise him not to do this, probably.
Don't put
not
on
the
a
comfiest thing
unless
I've ever
he's
done.
cold and doesn't want to go through the rigmarole of putting it on the other way. Then you know what? There you go. Yeah, so I would just say find the textures and the fits and all of those things that feel good, and I think this is the other thing. Open the line of communication and keep it open, and just be honest with, and like let he or she or they be honest about what they want. And if it's like, don't try to, that's not a fight you need to fight. Just be like, what clothes do you like? And then whatever that is, boom. Like for me, I've always worn slip-on Vans because I hate laces and I hate tying my shoes and I don't want my Vans to match. So even as a kid, like I would try to get 2 pairs of shoes that didn't match so that when I looked down, I could tell I had 2 different feet.
I'm still super sad that my Batman shoe broke, because I used to wear one Batman and one Superman. And it was like the greatest thing ever.
I know, man. You had superheroes on your kicks.
Next. Different ones, they're each feet.
They're just feet, man. All right, next question. Ooh, this one's for me.
Okay.
How amazing was your younger sister's love and support growing up for you? And this is the only one that is going to not remain anonymous because it was asked by my younger sister. I would say her love and support was, in truth, vital, as was that of my older sister and the rest of my family. But it was vital, man. It was because here's the deal. Where other friends, or even sometimes my parents and counselors and people, didn't really understand what was going on with the stuff that was in my brain, I felt like my sisters were always just okay with it. And my little sister, she was just like, she and I were just buddies because she just was like, you're the weirdest weirdo that's ever been. And I freaking love it. And I think that like having that changed my life. You know what I mean? To have that connection with my sisters. I mean, and that's what it was there was never an idea of changing me or making me be something that I wasn't. It was just, dude, you're freaking weird and I'm into it. And I think that sets you free. And so like the advice I would give everybody is, if you have anybody in your life that is on the spectrum, adopt that mentality. Just be like, you're the weirdest weirdo and I'm here for it. So
I'm here for the ride.
Love you, McGraw.
Let's just strap in.
Okay, Ash, I want you to tackle this one. How do you deal with uncertainty in these times?
Not too bad, actually, because I guess I'm not going many places.
Oh, it's actually making it easier.
I go, in a way, yeah, because right now, obviously, I go to work so much less. And obviously work's a bit like, because like I don't see people, they got germs. Yeah. But like for the rest of it, I'm not going out as much. I'm not seeing as many people. I'm pretty much able to hone in these routines that are healthier. Like if anything, like this time has helped me a lot to sort of just ground me and get me back on track.
Yeah. So what would you say for someone
one is difficult?
What would you say for someone who's not on the spectrum? How would you say I would say go back to the anxiety coping mechanisms.
Exactly, yeah.
Control what you can control. Get out and see nature.
Yeah. There's a lot of people right now I know struggling with these times. With being stuck in the house. And probably for me and you and people on that spectrum, it's probably easier than the neurotypical.
Yeah, because we're getting to be in our bubble.
Exactly. The tables have shifted. But if you are, just find something you love and just get invested in it.
Yeah.
Because I find, like Sav, for example, she's just doing art.
Yeah.
She's just investing in it. She found a new show. And she
Sarah's
loves
baking.
it, and Sarah's baking. You know, so like,
Find
you just gotta
find a
find
thing.
that. Just find your hobby. Find something that you love
Yep.
to actually do, and just do it, and just
I
bake
like
everything.
Good idea. Okay, man. Here we go. Next, we got to speed up a little bit or else we're going to be talking for like a long time.
Okay, well,
Okay.
how long are we on?
I think we're at like 27 minutes. This one might run a little long, but it's okay. All right.
Okay.
How did you, Tyler, manage school in terms of academic as well as friends? We'll both answer this, but
I think we covered that though.
We did. I think we said before.
The episode with.
Yeah, academically, I did fine. I did actually really weirdly great. I just had to learn on my terms. When I was in college, I actually would meet with my professors on the first day of class, and I would say, if I can pass your class without coming to your class, will you give me the grade? And they would all be like, yeah, challenge accepted. And that's how I got through college. I never went to class. I just took the exams and did the papers on my own.
I got screwed.
Yeah, you did.
But I got a good shooter this year, and I just passed my degree thing.
Hey, congratulations.
Which I forgot to tell you because I only looked at that today.
Dude, congratulations. Hang on a minute.
Right?
This is probably really loud in their ears. Sorry for the clapping. That's amazing, dude.
And look, it's like a graduation gown.
Look, it's like now we just need to move the tassel of our hat.
Thank you so much.
It's like we're wearing the gowns. Look at this.
I love it. You know what? This might become my new thing.
Look at this. It looks like I don't have a body.
But yes, that is
okay. Good answer.
School, that is probably it.
Okay. This is a big one, buddy.
Okay.
Our 12-year-old boy, autism, ADD, and dyslexia, is having a hard time in school. Do you have any tips? So I would say for this, I don't know where this person is, but really do your research and look hard for what programs are available to help your child through this. Because if you're in America, I know for a fact that there are a million tools and things to help your kid get through school. And like we mentioned, I think in the last episode, there's IEPs, which are individualized education plans. There are a million different resources. Like your kid can only take the exams at home, or take them in a room all by themselves, or they can have extra time to finish their work. There's a million things that helps the kids get through this who have the diagnosis. So like to go full circle back to episode 6, get diagnosed. And it sounds by the sounds of this, they have, and then utilize every resource that is given to you, because I would say almost all of them are free and they are instrumental in leveling the playing field for your kid. Your kid does not have to go through this in a neurotypical way. They don't have to. And why would you make them?
Just flat out talk to the school too.
Yep.
Like, I'm not saying you haven't, but if you haven't, do that. Because just totally be honest with them. And there's, like we keep saying, there's no shame in that. There's no shame to say I'm struggling. There's nothing wrong with saying my kid isn't doing too well right now. Exactly. That's okay. And there's going to be times where he doesn't. And
if you need to relate it to a medical diagnosis, explain to them. If my kid had a broken leg, you wouldn't make him do PE. You wouldn't make him run the mile. So go in there and explain to the school, my kid has something that is preventing them from doing things in a typical way. Give them the support they need, or else we're going to find a new school.
Exactly. And that's what I would do, because it's that straightforward to me.
Okay, man. I think I only have 3 more, but I don't know if these ones count. Are you ready?
Okay. Yep.
Oh, there's ravens outside my window. Help me to get over that girl, or to come over that. Actually, I love one girl and she also likes me, but due to her family, she's not accepting my proposal. Not quite sure that this is a mental health issue.
That could sound like a religious issue.
Yeah, this might be. So
I'll give you some super quick advice. Fight for it. Get it. If you love her, just love her intensely, and it'll happen.
I like
Done.
it. If this is what you want, go for it full charge.
No, it's not.
And damn the
Full charge.
consequences.
Exactly.
Don't look back.
Answer
And then
next.
hey, the final question was asked by one of the most brilliant minds that has ever been a mind. And we both get to answer this. Somebody who will remain anonymous, but has a big bottle, a big yellow bottle, happened to ask if you were a warning label, or if you were to come with a warning label, if you were to come with a warning label, what would your warning label say?
Yeah, that is because I was just curious. I want to hear your answer.
Mine would say,
Mine would literally say,
yeah, go ahead.
Go on, you go. You got it.
Prone. Mine would say like prone to falling down the deep, dark well that is his own brain. Please be patient and wait for him to crawl out towards the light.
I probably have some gremlin stuff would be like, don't give him tea after like 8 p.m.
No feeding after midnight. And by all means, do not put his feet in beach sand.
Do not give him bright lights or make too much noise. Do not vacuum. You have been warned.
I think mine would just say like, don't take it personal when he disappears internally.
I would literally just leave yours as don't take it personal.
Yeah, don't take it personal. That's literally
perfect. Your one.
That is, because I am arguably the most loving person on the planet Earth, but I have this disconnect between saying things that are just, I don't have a filter between here and here, and so things come out. And they're never personal, and I don't ever mean anything mean by them. It's just truths. And we talked about that on like episode something.
Mine would probably be along the lines of, I think I'm sorry.
That's perfect for you. I'm not sure yet. Stay tuned, but I might be sorry.
That's probably because let me just figure out the situation first.
Let's make t-shirts that say on the front, don't take it personal, and on the back, I think that I'm sorry. That's going to be our first merchandise, because then coming towards the person, they'll be like, don't take it personal. All right. And then as we walk past them and whatever interaction we inevitably have, they'll be like, I think I'm sorry. That's perfect. What a way to end our questions. All right. Here's the deal though. We need more questions from more people. So we're going to do more of these, because this is like the easiest way to address what people actually want to know. So please send in more questions. We'll answer everything clearly, and we'll probably do it dressed a little more appropriately next time.
Yeah. We like the questions, and if they could be about mental health, that's great. Like that's a big one for us, right?
And if they're about your lover not accepting your proposal, then we'll address that as well. It's like Dear Abby in the Asperger's realm. Oh my God, I just thought of it. Dude, I'm going to tell you now, because this episode, I'm going to tell you what it is. Dear Aspie.
Boom.
We're starting a new website called Dear Aspie, and it's going to be like Dear Abby, but it's going to be asking two people who have Asperger's to solve our problems. Our whole lives just changed.
This is a new thing.
This is okay. By the time this episode airs, I'm going to have this copy written so no one can steal that idea from us. Dear Aspie is happening. All right, Ash.
Okay.
Another episode.
Let's finish this off with.
Should we do a poem? Poems. I think we should.
Yeah.
Do you want me to start this time?
You go crazy.
I've got one queued up, mate, and I want to read it.
All right, and mate, I don't have any idea yet.
I'm not going to read it in a Scottish accent, though. I'm just going to read it normal.
I would probably do it in your normal.
All right, here we go. I hope you're not a Zen garden kind of girl. Hope you aren't expecting manicured. I'm a junkyard of a mind, collecting all that should be discarded. Did you know decay had a sound? Did you know it never stops? Come for the chaos, but do not grow weary when it overwhelms. Ask me, and I will tell you. I know where everything was placed. That's it, bruv.
You know what? I could literally just sit here and just listen to you read me poems like all day.
Ooh.
If this is a service you provide, please put it on your shop.
I'm just gonna. Yeah, that'll be for $100 an hour. I will sit and read you poetry
While wearing your shirt backwards.
while wearing my shirt backwards with my scarf. All right, what do you got for me?
What am I gonna read?
What are you gonna read?
Okay, I'm just gonna read a short one. It's called The Haunt.
Okay.
Let's just do it. There are whispers still, old talks of old things I have long since buried. I am a mausoleum of a man, crypt sealed and chained shut, yet I hear the mumble still. What was once mist covered and hidden under a blanket of fog is coming back into view. Not all that is dead stays dead. Not all we've forgotten stays gone. Creeping through the cracks, I feel you now, still contained but fighting. You are a chain rattle of a memory refusing to move on, but bang as loud as you can. Claw at the stone and shatter the silence with your screaming. Muster up all of your might, but never again will I open that door.
Dang, dude. Here's what I give that one.
Damn.
Here's what I'm gonna give that one. I'm gonna give that one the sound of haunting wind. Ready?
Also, if everyone tunes in, I think when people tune in next time, you should give them a live rendition of my voicemail.
Ooh, I will do.
That's incentive for them to come back.
Next time, cue
What about-
into Ash's voicemail greeting.
Oh, and also next time, are we reading the poems about each other?
Yeah, that means I have to finish writing it.
Yeah.
So tune in next time. Ash and I are going to write poetry about one another, and we are going to we will debut them for the first time.
And give us more questions.
More questions, please. And we love you. And
good episodes.
They do. And so subscribe to this junk and all of the other things that people who know how to do YouTube say. Do like all of those things.
Subscribe them. Follow
and
them.
Like
whatever
if you
it
want.
Is.
And if you don't, whatever.
Yeah. Mail it to your teacher.
Send it off and wrap it in bird leaves.
Send it by mail.
All right. We love you guys, and we'll see you next week.
We're out. See you soon.